What Gandhi did as a leader. Experiences of violence, 1895 to 1898. One day, a poor Indian farm worker called Balasundaram came to Gandhi's office. Balasundaram was crying. He had been beaten by his rich employer. His teeth were broken and his mouth was bleeding. It was always a mystery to Gandhi that people could injure other human beings. Gandhi sent Balasundaram to a doctor and took the doctor's report to court. Gandhi managed to persuade the court to move Balasundaram to another employer. Because he was willing to help them, many poor farm workers came to Gandhi and news of his work reached India. In 1896, Gandhi sailed to India to fetch his family. After a voyage of 24 days, he arrived in Calcutta, now called Kolkata, the capital of the British government in India. He traveled 2,000 kilometers by train across India to his family in Rajkot. But although Gandhi was happy to see his family, he did not spend all his time with them. He arranged meetings in Bombay, Calcutta, Pune, now called Pune, and Madras, now called Chennai, in order to speak to people about the conditions of Indians in South Africa. Indian newspapers wrote about Gandhi and these meetings. While he was staying in Rajkot, there was great fear that a serious disease would come to the city from Bombay. Gandhi joined a group which visited the very poorest parts of Rajkot. He was always very interested in preventing disease and preferred the work of a nurse to the work of a lawyer. His sister's husband was very ill at this time, and Gandhi brought him to his house, where he could look after him. But Gandhi was only in India for a few months before Abdullah Sheth asked him to return to South Africa. This time, Gandhi traveled with Kastur and their 2 sons. They sailed from Bombay on one of Abdullah Sheth's ships and arrived in Durban in December 1896. Many of the white people of Durban had heard about the meetings which Gandhi had organized in India. These meetings had made South Africa unpopular in India, and so the people of Durban did not want Gandhi to return to the city. The passengers were prevented from leaving the ship. They were kept on the ship for 23 days, but at last they were allowed to leave. Gandhi was recognized, and a crowd of young white men began to follow him and to throw stones at him. They hit him and kicked him and pulled off his turban. The brave wife of the police chief was passing in the street, and she came up to Gandhi. The crowd stepped back because they did not want to hurt a woman, and soon the police arrived. Gandhi was taken to a friend's house where he was looked after. Gandhi refused to take the young men to court for their violence against him, and this made some of the white people feel ashamed. For the next few years, Gandhi lived with his family in a pleasant house near the beach. 2 more sons were born, Ramdas in 1898 and Devdas in 1900. Gandhi continued to work for the Indians and to help the poor farm workers. Every day he also worked as a nurse in a small hospital, giving medicine to sick workers. 2 groups of white people lived in South Africa, those from Britain who spoke English, and those from Holland who were known as Afrikaners and spoke Afrikaans, a kind of Dutch. The British and the Afrikaners hated each other, and when gold was discovered in the Afrikaner province of Transvaal in 1899, a war started between them. Gandhi decided to help the British. At that time, he believed that the British Empire was a good government. He called together a group of more than 1,000 Indians to help care for soldiers who were wounded during the war. This group was called the Ambulance Corps, and for 6 weeks, the group carried the dead and wounded to safety, sometimes for distances of more than 30 kilometers. In Natal and in England, newspapers reported the work of Gandhi's Ambulance Corps. After the war, Gandhi believed that his work in South Africa was over, and he went back to India with his family. He went to Calcutta for the yearly meeting of the Indian National Congress and began to meet other Indian leaders. He stayed with Gopal Gokhale, an important leader who thought that Gandhi would soon be a leader in India. At the Congress meeting, Gandhi spoke for a few minutes about South Africa. He helped in one of the offices, and he also helped some untouchables with the dirty job of cleaning the toilets. After the Indian National Congress meeting, Gandhi went back to Rajkot by train, stopping at several cities in order to learn more about India. The first railways were built in India in 1853, and by 1880, there were 14,500 kilometers of railway across India. Gandhi decided to travel as a third-class passenger. The third-class compartments were dirty, and noisy, and Gandhi began to experience the difficulties that poor people lived with in India. Gokhale wanted Gandhi to work with him in Bombay, but Gandhi remembered that he had failed in Bombay in 1894, and so he opened a law office in Rajkot. Gandhi was earning enough money for a comfortable life, and he and his family enjoyed living in Rajkot. But in November 1902, Gandhi received this message from South Africa. "Mr. Chamberlain is expected here. Please return immediately." So Gandhi left his wife and his 4 sons and returned to South Africa. He had been in India for only 1 year. Nouns: 1. Experiences, events that leave an impression. 2. Violence, physical force intended to hurt or kill. 3. Farm, land used for growing crops and rearing animals. 4. Employer, a person or organization that employs people. 5. Mystery, something difficult or impossible to understand. 6. Human, a member of the species Homo sapiens. 7. Report, an account given of a particular matter. 8. Court, a tribunal for civil and criminal cases. 9. News, newly received or noteworthy information. 10. Voyage, a long journey by sea or in space. 11. Capital, the city serving as the seat of government. 12. Conditions, circumstances affecting how people live or work. 13. Disease, a disorder of structure or function in an organism. 14. Nurse, a person trained to care for the sick. 15. Lawyer, a person who practices or studies law. 16. Passengers, travelers on a conveyance other than the driver. 17. Crowd, a large number of people gathered together. 18. Turban, a man's headdress made of material wound around the head. 19. Chief, a leader or ruler of a people or clan. 20. Beach, a sandy or pebbly shore by the ocean. 21. Medicine, the science or practice of diagnosing and treating disease. 22. Gold, a yellow precious metal used for jewelry and decoration. 23. Distances, the amount of space between 2 places. 24. Congress, a formal meeting of representatives. 25. Untouchables, members of the lowest caste in Indian society. 26. Toilets, fixed receptacles for urination and defecation. 27. Railways, tracks on which trains run. 28. Compartments, separate sections in a structure or container. 29. Difficulties, things that are hard to accomplish or understand. Adjectives: 1. Poor, lacking sufficient money. 2. Beaten, having been defeated or hit repeatedly. 3. Rich, having a great deal of money or assets. 4. Serious, solemn or thoughtful in character. 5. Interested, showing curiosity or concern. 6. Preferred, liked more than others. 7. Ill, suffering from an illness. 8. Organized, arranged systematically. 9. Unpopular, not liked by many people. 10. Brave, showing courage. 11. Hurt, physically injured or in pain. 12. Ashamed, feeling embarrassed or guilty. 13. Pleasant, giving happy satisfaction. 14. Comfortable, providing physical ease. 15. Expected, regarded as likely to happen. Verbs: 1. Cry, shed tears. 2. Bleed, lose blood. 3. Injure, cause physical harm. 4. Persuade, cause someone to do something through reasoning. 5. Sail, travel in a boat with sails. 6. Fetch, go for and bring back. 7. Prevent, keep something from happening. 8. Recognize, identify from previous encounters. 9. Follow, come after in time or order. 10. Throw, propel something with force. 11. Hit, strike with force. 12. Kick, strike with the foot. 13. Discover, find unexpectedly. 14. Enjoy, take delight in. 15. Receive, be given something. Phrasal verbs: 1. Look after, take care of. 2. Keep on, continue doing something. 3. Pull off, succeed in something difficult. 4. Come up, move towards. 5. Step back, move back from. 6. Go back, return to a place. Adverbs: 1. Immediately, at once, instantly.